Welcome back to Life Lessons from the Reading School District. Again, we have Mr. Hoodak here, principal of Lauers Park Elementary. When we last left off, he was talking about passion, and it's not about the money. So we wanted to ask, how do you impart that on the students when they come through your doors to kind of follow their passions and believe in themselves?
That's an interesting question, and it probably is what makes Lauers Park Lauers Park. Mm-hmm. Because everybody asks me why we can do certain things. How do I get my staff to believe? How do I get my kids and my families to buy in? It's not me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, it's us. It's the staff. And I think when you talk about teaching kids, I have to first have my teachers believe. So everything we do at Lauers Park, from the way we interview, from the way we hire, from the expectations of staff, is to bring the right person in. So the first thing I do, and what I do all the time, is empower my staff. Mm-hmm. It's not my school, it's our school. So they make the decisions. We make good informed decisions using data, mm-hmm. looking at all the information. And as long as our decisions are what's right for kids and families, we're going to follow through on those decisions. If any decision is self-serving and promotes an individual versus what's good for kids and the school, mm-hmm. those decisions are always shot down. So my teachers coming in, they're raised. And when I say raised, they're all my kids. Mm-hmm. Some of them have been with me 20 years, 25 years, mm-hmm. but I've hired all of them. And so they've come in with the belief system that working at Lauers Park it's a passion, it's a career, it's not a job. Mm-hmm. It's not 8:30 to 3:30. That, and I tell them, I don't know what a union contract is. I read them, I know they're there, but I don't look at contracts. I look at, we collectively have to work as a school. And it's not one person's job, it's everybody's job. Mm-hmm. So by, I guess, teaching that philosophy, we all pitch in. Mm-hmm. And we all do things to help each other because it's the right thing to do. I also tell them, I'm not going to die at Lauers Park. I'm not going to die by myself. If I'm dying, mm-hmm. they're dying with me. Mm-hmm. So it's not about anybody dying mm-hmm. or suffering. It's about us working together and collectively taking every challenge that we have with a kid, mm-hmm. and every challenge we have with the family, or every challenge we have with the staff member. And how do we take that challenge, and how do we work together and create an environment that is good for that child, and good for that staff member, and good for the family. So when you create that belief system that it's not a job, it's a career, it's a passion, mm-hmm. that then transposes itself into the kids, mm-hmm. and they start to teach the kids. And then we also transpose that with the moms and dads. So then when you start to do all the programming that we do through Family Center and through Extended Day and during the school day to involve kids and families, and you make it very personal, you make it very caring, you make it very real, and you expose the kids to experiences, because mm-hmm. our mission statement is to give the children experiences, mm-hmm. and then the skills that their experiences come true, can come to life, and they can live their dreams. So it's about bringing their dreams to life. So we want to expose our kids to as much information and experiences and give them the skills that they can have a positive life. So by taking that and taking the initiatives that we develop at the school and doing community service projects, working together in the gardens, doing projects and doing, whether we work with the emergency shelter or the food bank or the Heart Association, we believe and we teach that we give. Mm-hmm. We don't just ask and take. Everything is about giving. Mm-hmm. And we relate that to, I was raised very poor. So, when you were raised poor, you appreciate what you have. Mm-hmm. That's what we try to teach, because many times a teacher might come in and they might have been a great student. Well, if you're a great student as yourself, you don't understand how a student who struggles learns. Mm-hmm. You have to be one of those, And so we try to expose our teachers to not only the cultures, but learning styles, the psychology of teaching and what you're dealing with, because truly we want to develop an urban educator, a well-rounded urban educator that cares about kids, cares about the community, and is not just cares about with the job.
And I know you mentioned experiences and exposing. How can that really impact a child?
If a child doesn't know what's out there, if they don't know what the world is made of, it's hard for them to have dreams. It's hard for them to think ahead. So, one of the programs we expose them to is the college can be a reality with Kutztown University. That's a 5th grade program. Well, that's not just for the kids, that's the families. Okay, so that program, that's one. If I would just take kids to Kutztown University on a field trip, it's a nice field trip. They get a nice meal in a dining hall, and they come back. They're happy. They had a great day. But what does that serve? So our program is designed that it's a year-long program in 5th grade. The parents have to be part of it. You have to come to monthly meetings with staff from Kutztown University, talking about that college is a reality, and this is how you can do it. Going through lessons with the families on a monthly basis, and then coming into the school and doing monthly lessons with the kids. You then combine those with the lessons for the kids and the families, and you then expose the kids to the college experience, and they go up there 2 or 3 times, not just the kids, but the kids and the families. Because if kids are going to have anything happen in their life, it's going to be whoever they live with, their mom, their dad, that believe in them, that's going to help make that happen. So the experiences that we establish are experiences for kids and families, so that the kids can share their dreams, their aspirations, and that moms and dads then can push that. Moms and dads can encourage that. And that's just an example of one of the things we do, and there's many.
I know there are so many innovative projects and programs at your school, but I think it takes a little bit of chutzpah to do that. So what gave you the courage to kind of think outside the box, to try new things, to not be afraid to bring in, like I said, that innovation?
It's probably who I am. I was raised very poor, but I was raised to be a good worker. My dad was a coal miner, and we had the farm. So we had nothing else. So you grew your food. You hunted for food. You didn't have luxuries. You didn't go on vacations. You never went out to eat. We didn't even have a car. I was the first one in my family to go to college, and my mom saved every penny from a certain check my dad had coming in. He had black lung, and I remember her saving that $44 a month check that he got. She put it in the bank, and we did that for a number of years. And then I would pick blueberries, and I worked on the farm. And I remember I got $1 an hour to bale hay, and then I got a raise to 50 cents an hour. And most of that money from the time I was about 10 years old went in the bank, so that I could go to college. My mom had enough to pay for 2 years, and I could pay for 2 years.
So she believed in you even back then when you were still a poor student. Yeah. Amazing.
Okay, and again, what was that question again that you...
I just asked the kind of that fearlessness that it takes to add that innovation.
So when Mom believed in me, and she would always tell me, and even though we were very poor, I had my dreams, and I'd say I wanted a motorcycle, or I wanted a boat someday, and I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do that, and she would say, Gordon, you'll have all of that. You'll have that boat, you'll have that motorcycle if you want it, but you have to work for it. And my dad would get mad at me, and he'd get mad often. But if I would start, I remember one time we were working on the farm, and I came home from college, and I'm about 17, 18 years old. It was the last summer that I was home, and I remember my dad and I were working on the farm for a neighbor. We each were making $1 an hour, and we were working out in the field baling hay. And this particular 2-week period, we were making fence posts by hand.
Oh, wow.
And that's hard work.
Hard work, absolutely.
And so in between making the fence post and then going out in the field and digging the holes and doing that, we were taking care of the cattle, baling hay, doing the chores around the farm for this gentleman who paid my dad and I. And I said to my dad one day, we're sitting eating lunch, and I said, Dad, we ought to ask for a raise. I said, why don't we ask for $1.50 an hour? My dad. And it was really the only time he got that angry at me, and I'm 18 years old. He got up, and he never cursed at me, and he started cursing at me. And he told me I should be thankful for what I have, you know. And he said, you work hard, and he said, if you work hard and save your money, you're going to have something. And after he was done chewing me out, and here I am, 18 years old, he looked at me and he walked away. And he wouldn't talk to me the rest of the day. He wouldn't talk to me on the ride home when we were taken home. And it took him about 2 or 3 days that I would talk to him, or he would talk to me. That was the end of it. There was no more discussion about the money. That I would, you know, you work hard, good things happen to you.
Absolutely.
And that was what was expected. And mom and dad would always say they wanted to raise me because they were much older than I was the baby, and they were like in their 40s and 50s when I was born. So they wanted to raise me that if something would ever happen to them, I would be able to take care of myself. So I got the job as a teacher with the feeling I'm going to do this job what's right for kids, the way mom and dad would want me to do it. And if you don't like it, administration or school board, you can fire me. Because if you fire me, I know how to work. I can dig a ditch. I can paint. I can wallpaper.
Yeah.
I don't mind working. Okay, that's just as good a job as anything.
Yeah.
And because of that, my attitude has always been, what I'm doing is what's right for kids. I'm not looking for a promotion. I'm not looking to become a superintendent. I don't want to be a politician. I want to be a teacher, and I want to work with kids. And if you can have somebody do it better than me, fine. I can do something else. So that's just my attitude.
Well, we appreciate the impact that you've had, not only in our school district, but our entire community. You are known far and wide in Berks County and beyond, and we're just grateful that you are a teacher still, even though you're a principal, but that you have that impact on our kids, so we appreciate it.
Well,
so thank you for making the time today to share a little bit about your story and your life lesson.
Well, it's an honor being here with the kids of Reading, and I thank the community for having me.
Sounds good. Thank you for joining us for Life Lessons from the Reading School District. Have a great day.